The side hustle trap. What I learned. Delivering pizza. Let's talk about purpose. And the strange, pressurized feeling that in today's world, they have to be the same thing. I want you to picture this. It's 2 a.m. The blue light of a laptop screen is the only thing illuminating a face etched with exhaustion. On the screen, a korstit monetize your passion in 30 days. Another tab shows a slick website for a brand that sells, let's say, artisanal candles with motivational quotes. A third tab is a spreadsheet. Numbers not adding up. This was me, and maybe, in some way, this is you. I had absorbed the gospel of our time. That your worth, your very identity, is a startup. Your passions are products waiting to be launched. Your purpose isn't something you live, it's something you build, package, and sell. And if you're not, you're failing at life. I was desperate to find my thing, my meaningful hustle. The project that would make my heart sing and my bank account grow. But all I felt was a hollow, frantic anxiety, a static in my brain. I was trying to manufacture a feeling of purpose from the outside in, and it was leaving me emptier than when I started. Then, life did what it often does. It cut the power to my carefully constructed dream board. My savings ran dry. The vague, passion-fueled projects brought in $0, and I was faced with a very old-school, unglamorous problem. I needed rent money. So, with a profound sense of defeat, I did the thing I thought was a surrender. I applied for the most straightforward, unpretentious job I could find. I walked into Tony S. Pie Shack on a Thursday afternoon and put on a polyester polo shirt that smelled faintly of garlic and industrial cleaner. I became a pizza delivery driver. Let me tell you, the shame was real. In a world of digital nomads and teen crypto millionaires, I was now a cog in the ancient machinery of hot food delivery. My office was my beat-up car. My performance metrics were speed and the temperature of the cheese. To my 22-year-old self, clutching a diploma, this wasn't a step sideways. It was a plummet off the ladder of ambition. I thought I'd left my purpose in the parking lot, but here is where the story turns. And it turns in the quiet, lonely space of my driver's seat. You see, after the initial humiliation faded, something else began to fade with it. The noise, the relentless, self-flagellating, internal monologue. What's your brand? Is this content? Are you falling behind? It was replaced by the simple, physical reality of a task. A list of addresses. A map. A warm box. Get from A to B. There's a profound mindfulness forced upon you in a job like that. You are alone with the road, the rhythm of the traffic lights, the podcast in your ears. Your mind, once a browser with 100 frantic tabs, begins to and in that newfound mental space, a strange thing happened. I started to actually see the world I was moving through, not as a backdrop for my own epic story, but as a collection of real, human moments. My purpose, or what I thought should be my grand, self-created purpose, stopped being a screaming headline in my mind. And because it got quiet, I could finally hear the soft, human whispers all around me. I began to know my customers, not as customers, but as tiny glimpses into lives. There was Mrs. Henderson. Every Wednesday, like clockwork, a single small cheese pizza to her little bungalow. One night, fumbling with the cash, she said, "You're right on time for my show," and pointed to the cardinals at her bird feeder. That was her show. The delivery wasn't about the pizza. It was the punctuation in her week of solitude. A 5-minute chat on her porch became part of the transaction. There were the nurses from the county hospital. A massive order at 3 a.m. They'd meet me at the emergency room entrance, still in scrubs, looking both exhausted and wired. The gratitude they had for that greasy, cheesy fuel was palpable. It wasn't just food, it was a tiny act of care in their night of trauma and triage. I delivered to a frazzled young father, trying to assemble a crib, his partner asleep upstairs. I delivered to a group of college students having a living room fortnight, their laughter spilling out the door. I delivered to a house where the only furniture was a mattress and a TV. A couple starting from absolute zero, celebrating with a pepperoni pie, night after night, box after box. I wasn't just delivering pizza. I was a fleeting, minor character in 100 different human stories. A bearer of a small, tangible relief dinner sold by the treat, earned a gathering fed. And it was in this role, this seemingly insignificant service, that I stumbled upon the wisdom I'd been desperately seeking. I learned that purpose is often a byproduct, not a product. The side hustle culture sells you purpose as the finished artifact, the successful brand, the viral post, the revenue graph climbing. Its destination. But in my card, I found purpose in the process itself, in the reliability of showing up, in the focus required to navigate efficiently, in the small completed mission of a successful delivery. The purpose was woven into the action, not waiting at the end of it. It was present in the dependable execution of a simple, useful task. I learned to separate the what from the why. My what was embarrassingly simple. Transport hot circles of bread. But my why, the reason it mattered, became something deeper. Provide a moment of comfort, convenience, or connection in someone's ordinary or sometimes extraordinarily difficult night. When you discover your why, it injects dignity into almost any what. This was revolutionary. It meant my writing didn't have to be about building a personal empire. Its why could be to offer clarity or companionship to one person feeling lost. That shift changes your entire energy. It takes the desperate edge off and replaces it with grounded intention. And finally, I learned about the seductive illusion of the meaningful life. On one of my last deliveries, I pulled up to a mansion. I mean, a truly palatial home. The man who answered was in a tailored suit, but he looked utterly drained. He handed me a $50 tip for a $20 order. As I turned to leave, he sighed and said, "Man, I'll tell you what, I spend 14 hours a day in meetings about contracts and projections and market share. It all feels abstract, like I'm pushing digital money around a spreadsheet. You get to drive. You see the neighborhood. You actually bring people something real. They're happy to see you. There's a purity to it." I stood there on his $1 million doorstep, holding my pizza bag, having a crisis of perception. The man living what I thought was the purposeful, successful life was envying the essence of my so-called dead-end job. He was starving for the very tangible service and small human connection I got to experience every night. So, if you're in that place, I was paralyzed by the need to find your purposeful hustle, to monetize your soul, to build a brand that is also your identity. Want to give you a piece of advice that sounds countercultural, but is deeply ancient. Stop trying to find your purpose for a second. Start asking, what small, useful thing can I do for someone else today? Don't monetize it first. Just do it. Make a meal for a friend who's overwhelmed. Patiently teach a coworker a skill they're struggling with. Truly listen to someone without waiting for your turn to talk. Show up reliably for the mundane commitment you made. That act of focused, self-forgetful service, that is the fundamental atom of purpose. It's the muscle, not the trophy. When you exercise that muscle consistently, you build a foundation of meaning that is unshakable. It's made of real human moments, not algorithms and engagement metrics. Then, and only then, if you feel called to scale that service, to build a business or a platform around it, you will be building on solid rock. You won't be a brand in search of a soul. You'll be a soul that has something authentic forged and real service to offer. Purpose didn't find me when I was staring at a business plan. It found me in the quiet hum of my car, with a hot pizza in the passenger seat, on my way to a stranger's door. It was there all along, not in building something grand for myself, but in being a small, useful part of someone else's story. And that is a lesson no side hustle course could ever teach you. Your purpose isn't what you sell. It's in how you serve. Remember,